guys, it is Kate with Bosma Design, and today I am not in the kitchen, I'm in the studio. It's not my podcast though. Welcome to the new eSource Miller Tug Talks.
Okay, that wasn't really planned, but we'll go with it. I'm with it. Normally it's my stupid self saying things, but I liked it.
You put a microphone in front of me and now it's all mine. I can't help it.
All right, so Kate, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate your time, and this is something you hadn't really done before, right? So this will be kind of fun, and it seems like we're already kind of natural, just a couple of gals talking.
Right?
Just a couple of gals. Just hanging out.
Just hanging out.
So on this podcast, I figure I have people come into the kitchen most weeks, which is good, right? Because it'd be weird if we have a kitchen and it was just empty all the time. That'd be awkward.
It would.
Often, though, they have no idea what a consultant does. They've never even understood, like they've heard the word consultant, but especially when it comes to food service, they're like, you mean like a menu consultant? I'm like, no, not that. That tends to be more of this, something else. This is more like new builds that tend to come through architects, but they don't always have to come through architects. So kind of just going through. So I thought, you know what? Let's have Kate tell me on your side what your opinion of it all is, and I would love to hear that. So, Kate, what is a consultant?
The main part of being a consultant really does make sure that you meet code, that everything that's going in is going to work. But what we like to do, especially as consultants, because at hearts we're really designers, and we want to design a kitchen that doesn't just meet code, but it meets what you need. It meets the client's vision. It meets the operator's vision. It works with the menu that they want to serve. I mean, that is the top thing we want to know is what do you want to serve?
Right.
Because if you are a health-conscious restaurant, I'm not giving you a fryer. We may go with some other type of way to do it, but knowing what you want to serve really makes a difference. Knowing your target audience, knowing where. So the job as a consultant, as we really see it, is to take everything and make it come together cohesively.
Right. So instead of just being like, hey, we need a 6-burner range, and we need a fryer over here, I think, and I don't know, like an oven. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's very standard and great for a little mom and pop hole in the wall thing, right? Where this is all the room you got, but that's not always obviously the case, right?
And that's just it. And laying out a kitchen really is not hard. Anyone really can, and we've proven it time and time. There are lots of people out there laying out kitchens.
Man, so many times I go in and the chef, whoever the new chef is, right? It's never the chef that designed it. It's always, who the hell set up this kitchen? I have no effing idea why they would do this. I can't tell you how many times you heard it, right? So it's clear that everybody, it's kind of, I'd see it as kind of religion in barbecue, right? Everyone's got a very strong opinion about it, and they can never really understand what the previous person did or why they do it that way, kind of thing, right?
Oh, yeah. We had one location where, and actually we're talking, this was schools and it was culinary arts. And the person who was there and designing it, because it's a little different than a kitchen because it's instruction, they're like, I want to make sure everyone has their own bun pan rack because they're going to have their own stuff. And we ended up with like 28 bun pan racks.
Did you tell them these have wheels on the bottom?
I know. That's what I said. I'm like, these can all move. These can shift. You can share. But they were really adamant that they really needed all of these carts. And we're like, okay, that's no problem. Well, 8 months down the road, the school opens. The actual instructor comes in and they're like, what on earth?
Right.
And we were like, well, you know what? Why don't you see if some of the other arts wants that? Check with your science lab, check with some of your other labs and see if they want these, because it can be used. Put it in an art classroom, they can dry their watercolor on it. Well, then the instructor's like, no, I think we'll just make it work. So she didn't want it, but she didn't want to release them either.
Let's just keep that just in case. There's a lot of just in case.
There's a lot of just in case. You should see my garage. There's a lot of just in case. But
I thought you went down to minimalism, didn't
okay,
you?
we have, but it's a good joke anyway.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, put it out there.
Sorry,
Everyone
I ruined
has
that joke. My bad.
Everyone has a garage full of stuff. But that's part of the balance of being a consultant is knowing what you actually need versus what you think you want. And something like that, it's not going to hurt for you to have it. And if that was your high priority, we're going to help you meet that.
Absolutely.
But the more important thing is balancing what you need with what the architect can design, with what the general contractor can build, and making sure we meet code in the same. We've got a lot of rule of thumbs that we have to follow. And then it's always fun when we're dealing with the inspectors who are like, well, no, it has to actually be this. We're like, oh.
Actually, I've done some research on this a little bit, just to let you know. So that's really the why, right? like you said, anyone can lay out a kitchen. We
Mm-hmm.
can just say, well, we'll put this there, we'll put that there, and I think that'll work, right? And it's the why is really like you said, knowing the code and knowing, because usually when people talk to me, they'll ask, well, because I'll tell them, hey, we've got this ventless equipment, right? Oh, great. I'm like, well, but I'm going to tell you this. This piece I've never had an issue with. This piece that we've had issues with, where we can give you all the UL information, and that inspector's just going to say, that's great. I want a hood, or
Yeah.
I want a fill in the blank, right? And it's one of those that I tend to tell people, just reach out beforehand. But when you're talking about a project that's a new build and you have not one piece that we're interested in, we're talking about 38 pieces that we need to find out what the code is for and whatever else, that's really a why, right?
It is a very big why. And there's little things like working with a lot of the other trades, because does your hand sink need to be a direct connection or an indirect connection? And so there's a lot of that little stuff that goes into it. And we do a ton of behind the scenes. So, and there's times it goes great,
Yeah.
and then there's times that it doesn't, but that's what we're there for.
Right.
So.
Right. That's kind of the life of it. As it
Oh
works,
yeah,
right.
yeah. And the nice thing is, if you hire a consultant, is while I mean I respect all the reps and I respect all the dealers and stuff, but we're the last independent. We're not getting paid to put anything in, so it's an unbiased opinion. We're going to sell what you need. We're not going to sell the equipment.
Right. You guys have had an experience because you've been in this industry. I don't want to age you, but longer than me, and I've been in it 17 years on this side.
I think that I'm hitting 30 years in the industry.
Wow.
I'm hitting 30 years in the industry.
I mean, I guess if I include my, short order cook days
I
when I
think
was
you
16,
It matters.
then we're talking longer than 17 years. That was
Yeah.
just this side of the industry, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. So like you and obviously Dwayne, right?
Mhm.
So Dwayne
If y'all
Bosma.
don't know,
Yeah.
Dwayne Bosma, the owner of the company.
Yes, and he's been at a couple other right before he started his own, and he's been in kitchens before. He was a chef, right? So it's you guys have a lot of experience, and that's why they're paying the money for, right? Is like
Yes.
it's not just hey, here's an idea. It's we've run into this. We've done more than likely we've done something very much like this, or have done this before. Let us kind of walk you through some issues we had, or problems we had, or hurdles that we had to kind of get past. That's how I see you guys.
I like that. That's a good way to see us.
Yeah.
And it does matter. And because food service, we all have a lot of experience, and a lot of people, especially on this side, have done multiple things. But it's really nice that several of us at our firm and a lot of the other firms, we have worked in an actual kitchen. And so we know a lot about how that happens and what's feasible.
Right. And you guys, as it goes, really, you guys end up being kind of the voice of the customer. Is that about right? Right. That you guys, it's not just like, hey, we hired you and this is what we're going to do. And you guys say, great, we're not going to talk to you more. We got this. Shut up. Right. It's you guys kind of talk through of, what are you looking for? What are we trying to do? What's the end goal? What do we think for future flexibility? What are we looking at? Right. And then it's kind of your job, your position to be able to take that and put that to the dealer of it, right? Of the reps who represent that and are kind of talking through it, right? So it's just you guys tend to be an advocate, right?
We really do. We've got one project that it's got this big first floor and then this intimate second floor. I just hit the mic again. I talk with my hands way too much. So we've got the intimate second floor and then like a rooftop bar. And to support all of that, we need very specific space. And the operator's like, well, I really need this, this, and this. We're like, okay. Well, then all of a sudden the architect's like, well, we had to take, a couple hundred square feet. And we're like,
it's not going to work.
That's not going to work. Like, I can work with you within a certain point, but after a certain point, you have to go tell them that you did this and they can't have this showpiece that they wanted.
Right.
So we really like to listen to what they want and meet their vision as best as possible. So we like it.
Cool.
It's fun.
Some of the other fun things you guys do is, I don't know about set a budget, but kind of like you get to give them an idea of where the budget should be on this, right?
We do. And that's when I really lean heavily on a lot of the dealer relationships that we have is I'm like, okay, I know that last month we were running about this much per square foot. And so that's really good. But it really helps that we've got those relationships all across the industry. And I can go, I know you just did this kitchen. What was your budget on it? Just give me a broad number, because it's really important to us to use those real-time tools as we're reporting back. Because especially as prices fluctuate so much,
Sure, especially right now.
especially right now with what's going on, it really helps everyone else make an informed decision.
Sure.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people really look down on the value engineering process. And it's really hard for us when we're very intentional and we're very deliberate and we're like, yes, this is what you want. And then we're like, oh, all of a sudden you have a new budget number. The one thing about value engineering, while it's really hard and it hurts a lot of feelings sometimes, it's a chance for us to go, okay, what can we still give you that meets your needs, but is going to come in at a lower price point?
Right.
So,
And since you can talk to this, I was going to talk to it, you talk to it. For the most part, in a new build, the kitchen tends to be one of the last things done, right?
yes.
So when money starts to get tight, it's towards the end, and they're like, hey, we've got this kitchen that really hasn't had a lot of the POs put in for it yet. So maybe you can talk about that it tends to be the dumping ground of like, well, we're going to cut a lot here. And you're like, dang it.
Well, it does. And also one of the reasons is beside it being a lot of time we're brought on as like an afterthought. It's like, oh yeah, we do have a kitchen here. And so the project will be fully advanced and all of a sudden we're coming in going, oh, well, hey, we need to move some stuff around. But also the kitchen is the unseen part. It's an unseen hero. It's a hero, but it's unseen.
Right.
And so why would you want to spend money on something that no one else is going to see? It's hard. That's when it hurts my heart.
Yeah. That's why you got to have nice fancy dining rooms, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And that's one thing, especially like we do a lot in the healthcare field. I love hospitals. I grew up in and around hospitals. My parents both worked at one for many, many years. I was recently a patient at one, so I can speak from experience. But hospitals live by patient satisfaction scores.
Yeah.
That is their metrics. And it's
And
massive.
it changes. They live by it.
They do.
It isn't just a piece of paper.
They live by it.
If they hear this X number of times, they're going to go, we're going to change something about it.
And so a lot of times, a lot of the hospitals now, especially the bigger ones, are investing more in the servery, where they've got the prettier serving lines, but also the more eclectic serving lines. Like almost everyone now has a specific salad bar to give the more healthier options for their ambulatory patients, their visitors, their staff, any guests that come in.
Ambulatory, that's a big word.
I know, right?
Big word.
Look at me, I'm saying.
Hey.
So
That means you can move around, by the way. I knew that one.
I Googled that before I came in. No, I'm just teasing. That was one word I knew. But in the back of the house, it's not seen, it's not pretty, but it has to do so much.
Right.
They have to prepare for the servery. Are they doing patient tray delivery where they deliver all the trays at once? Are they doing an on-call room service style where you can call in at any point and request a meal? So we really want to, and the lovely thing is a lot are doing more customized now.
Right.
Because you never know when you're going to get admitted, and that's, you know what, we'll get off the soapbox and move forward.
I mean, it's a much better option than what used to be of just trays sitting in a hot cart waiting to be called to then you just say, which one do you want, the chicken or the beef kind of thing, right?
Right. So you want to design so that, one, the food is as tasty as can be, because I know there's a lot of dietary restrictions that go in there. And we all know food is medicine. We're good with that. But also to keep the patient satisfaction scores up.
Yep.
So we're not just designing a kitchen that's going to feed people. For a hospital, I have to design a kitchen that's going to help them with their patient satisfaction scores.
And weird things on that score of like the carts are too loud in the halls, right?
Yes.
Like we need to have casters that are sound deadening casters, and it's not something you would typically think about. But especially like hospitals, I know that that's one of the things that they've heard a number of times.
There is. There's a big hospital chain in downtown Fort Worth. Well, their mothership is in downtown Fort Worth. But the quiet level is one of their big matrices, and they work very hard on their quiet level. And everyone wears a quiet button. So if the sound spikes, it shows up. And that was one of the things that they had to do was eliminate some of that hall noise. So, but that goes into it. If you're a patient, you don't want to hear all
you don't
of
want to hear
that.
that. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun. You're like, what?
We had one hospital system, and I'm sure I do other stuff, but they were looking at
You do.
I do, but apparently we know where my passion lies.
Yeah.
But we were looking at robot delivery as well, because they were going to do a room service, and because the robot technology is so much quieter, and it doesn't require a full-time employee to go through all this with all of the service elevators. So The technology is moving and it's going forward. They're already doing it a lot with pharmacy deliveries in hospitals. They're now advancing towards it for patient tray delivery too.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. I love it.
That is really neat. I hadn't heard that part. I mean, I'd seen them in like, as your host. I've seen that. I've seen as a drink waiter. I've seen that. But I haven't seen them bring food yet. But
We haven't done one yet,
just drinks.
but like the last 3 big hospitals we've done, they've discussed it. They're like, well, do we need to save space for the robots? We know we want to do this.
Yeah, that's got to be a big room, right? That's got it because they have to have each their own charging port, right? And wow.
Yeah. We had a county hospital that had a separate wing. And that was one of the things that we had to do was their patient tray carts had to have a port, a little dock on both sides. So no matter where the cart landed, it had a place to plug into. And that's really hard because you've got to think about both sides of the equation.
Yeah. All right. So consultant, who hires the consultant real quick? That's the
Typically, it's going to be the architect.
Unless it's a one-off or not a new build kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
unless it's a one-off. We do have some operators/owners who hire us direct,
Right.
And that'll happen. There's a charter school that they are working with an architect, but they're like, no, we're going to carry your contract. So there's a lot of times it's the architect. Few times we will have an owner-operator.
Right. And you guys have done chains in the past as well. That you guys were kind of their in-house consultants for.
Yes. We have.
So you guys have done and can do a lot of things.
We have. We're doing a water park right now.
What?
I know. I think it's
Do you get to design the rides? Because that's pretty cool too.
Okay, we don't, but do you know how awesome it is to see those rides being designed?
I bet.
It is amazing to sit in those meetings as they're designing and the slope of the slide. And so
that's cool though.
it is really neat. I think this is our 3rd one in probably the last 7 years or so. But it is fun because clearly that's the water slides and everything is the attraction.
Right.
But
You mean people aren't coming for the corn
I know,
dogs?
right? People are not coming for the corn dogs. That $5 soda,
Losers.
it's not the draw.
$5. That's cheap. That's the small size, right?
All right, it's clearly haven't been to a water park in a while. So I'm the dining pass person. I'm like, give me a flat fee and let me.
Yeah, that's how I am with like a cruise too, right? Like, or an all-inclusive resort. Let me just pay it up front. I don't want the bill at the end.
Yeah, no, let's just get that out of the way. But that's really fun because it's neat to be exposed to all of that. But I'm like, okay, I just have a little concession stand, but what can we do so that people aren't. Because one we had done a couple of years ago was one where you could bring in your own coolers and stuff. And that was their draw. It was a city water park, but it was family affordable. It was one
Right.
you could bring everybody. But what could we do so you would still want to visit concessions?
Right.
Because I get it. I want to save money too. But if there's something special on that concession stand, we'll help you. We'll help you increase your profits.
Right. And it's your guys' job to try to get them through as quickly as possible.
Yes. Right? Oh, man. The time we consider queuing up and waiting in line and adding people to our plans to make sure it. Oh.
So another thing that consultants tend to do that I have helped in the past with and or hurt in the past, I'm certain at times. You guys are often looking at what the next trend is, right? What the future is, what's coming next down the road. But like we've seen at least with like ghost kitchens, I think almost every chain was ready to get a ghost kitchen. And then right now I think that's kind of pulling back, right? So
yes.
A consultant can really kind of help you guys with that. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Consultants can help you with that. And one thing that's really important is trends change, but the infrastructure is very hard to move.
Yeah. Once it's there,
I mean, it's normally in walls, it's under concrete, it's through the ceilings. So we want to follow the trends. We want to let you be trendy and do all that stuff, but we also want to give you the flexibility if you want to grow, if you want to expand. If you have major money you want to sell and get out of there, we want to make you we want to help you have a facility that's appealing to other buyers. So trends change, but we want to have infrastructure in place that will carry forward so future you is successful.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys aren't just, since you guys do projects that are, across the board really within food service, whether it's hospital, whether it's school, whether it's B&I potentially, like your water parks, right, and other fun things. You guys kind of have to have a pretty wide scope of what the trends are happening or what's going on.
We do, and we like it, and we try to make sure that it may be a trend, but we want to make sure that we're setting everyone up for a future success.
Yeah, we're future proof.
Future proof.
What was that?
Wow,
Let's get
that
her
was.
a drink. Can we get it?
I know. I'm not saying there's vodka in my bottle, but I'm not saying there's not.
Yeah, we'll just leave that up for your interpretation, right?
Yeah.
You decide.
I'll decide
what is in Kate's bottle.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this, Tug. This was a lot of fun. Not just the vodka, but all of
Well,
it.
that's why
it was
it's so much
fun.
fun. Yeah. Well, Kate, I was literally thinking, well, let's wrap this one up. So,
Oh.
thank you for thanking me, and I want to thank you for being you.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
And
That's awesome.
thank you for your time, and make sure to check out the newly appointed Tug Talk.
That's right, Tug Talk.
Esource Miller Tug Talk.
Coming to an aggregate near you.
Yes. All the socials.
All the socials.
All the important ones, at least.
Yeah.
Right? Well, Kate, thank you very much. Let's do another one of these.
I think we should.
Let's do
I think we
another one of
should.
these. Let's do that. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate the time. Thanks, Kate.